In this last video about how to avoid doing things last minute, I want to talk to you about something called the 3 times rule. So this isn't so much a quick procrastination hack or a quick fix as it is a different way of looking at the problem of things coming up at the last minute and having to rush to finish them, and how to fix that problem systematically. The 3 times rule basically describes a way of handling recurring problems. And the rule goes like this. Anything that bothers you 3 times, you need to find a permanent and systematic solution for it. Doing this will stop your leakage of energy, willpower, and concentration, and will help you prevent stress and stop worrying about it. And of course, you won't come up against the, oh, it's due really soon, I have to do it now, problem ever again. So to illustrate this, let me tell you a bit of a personal story. One of the things that we teach at Asian Efficiency is the idea of a morning ritual. And the first component of a morning ritual is always to drink half a liter of water as soon as you wake up. Now, this is something that I've always known I had to do. My mum has been telling me to do it since I was really young, and she learned it from her mother, so I'm pretty sure the practices have been around for a really long time. But the problem was, I never did it. I'd get up in the morning, I'd go brush my teeth and start getting ready, and I never got around to drinking that half liter of water, which is obviously not very good. So I decided to find a systematic solution to fixing this. Now, back when I kind of sometimes did it and sometimes didn't, what I would do is get up, go to the kitchen, get a glass out of the cabinet, pour some water, and then stand there and drink it. But that way of doing things had a lot of friction to it, which was causing me to not do it more often than actually doing it. So a better solution was to remove all the friction in the process and just get a drink bottle and fill it with some water and put it by my bed before going to sleep. And then as soon as I got up in the morning, the first thing I would do is grab the bottle, drink half a liter of water, problem solved. Now, the 3 times rule, because of its nature, will almost always result in a different solution for every problem, because there are as many solutions out there as there are problems in the world. What I want to give you is a framework for taking your particular problem, whether it's something that keeps coming up the last minute, or simply a problem that keeps coming up, and show you how to use a framework to find a systems-based solution for it. The framework goes something like this. You first want to identify when a problem keeps coming up. And this is really simple. You just make a mental note of it when the problem happens, and if it happens multiple times, you then make a note to then find a solution for it. Now, if something happens just once, there's no real need to find a permanent solution for it yet, because it may not happen again. You only want to run this process and framework for things that keep on recurring. The second step in the framework is to identify the root cause of the problem. This could be a person, a systemic issue like the water example I just gave you, or it could be an issue about the way you think about or perceive something. So it's usually pretty obvious what the cause of the problem is, but that doesn't mean you always have to address the problem at the source. The third step in the framework is to think of a solution to the problem now that you know the root cause. You can either address the problem at the root cause itself, address the problem in the process, like with the water example from before, or you can jujitsu it and bypass the root cause completely by creating an entirely new process. And the last step, of course, is to try out the solution and to see if it works. One really common example, especially if you work in an office, is when you have a colleague or a workmate who sends a lot of emails. You know, they send one email with one idea, then 5 minutes later, they send a second email with a continuation of that same idea. And they keep sending and sending and sending emails when really, if they just waited a little bit, they could have sat down and typed one email that contained everything. And you know, as someone receiving these emails, it's extremely frustrating. So if you decide to apply the 3 times rule to this, what you need to do is to find a systematic solution to stop them from sending the emails. So we know what the problem is. Receiving too many emails too frequently from one particular colleague. Now, the root cause of the problem, of course, is the person's behavior in sending too many emails. As for the solution, there are a couple of ways to resolve this. A direct approach, by going straight to the root cause, would be to shape your colleague's behavior, to tell them, look, can you please hold off on the emails and send them when you have everything you want to convey in one go? That's one option. Another option would be to shape the process by simply not replying, and they will eventually get the message. A third option would be set up some sort of automated reply specific to their email address, which you know is a little aggressive because that means every email that they send you, you automatically send one back through software. Now, a more systematic and technology-based solution would be to use email filters. This is kind of like jujitsuing around the problem. What I would do is create a rule in Gmail or my email client that looks for emails from this particular person and files them away into a separate folder. And that is a systematic solution to a problem that keeps recurring. So hopefully you can see that the 3 times rule is actually pretty straightforward. What you want to do is you want to find problems that keep on recurring in your life. And if they occur 3 or more times, you're going to make a mental note to figure out the root cause and find a systematic and permanent solution to the particular problem. And finding the solution is simply a matter of getting a piece of paper out and figuring out what the root cause is. Then you want to list 3 potential solutions for this problem. This can be addressing it at the cause, changing something in the process, or doing a bit of systems jujitsu and bypassing the problem completely. If you're having problems finding ideas for solutions, you can simply ask around or just Google it and do some research. So there you have it. The 3 times rule is our final tip for avoiding doing things last minute. It is very simple and is based entirely on the premise of recognizing when you have a recurring problem and then coming up with a clean and effective way to permanently solve it. Just remember that it is a framework and a mindset that when you adopt it will systematically help you avoid running into things last minute over time.